have the materials, carbon and wood to make the machines.
Okay, they had coal and iron.
They have mines and then navigate rivers to take.
Okay, you wanted to. Thank you. That was very good. You wanted to say something and you said, "Oh no." Okay, what did you want to add?
I want to say the navigable rivers.
Okay, tell us.
No, because I.
Tell us what you wanted to say. Why was it important that Britain had navigable rivers?
Because other countries can give things to England, and England can give things to others.
So that is more related to the production that England had, the factories. The navigable rivers had to do with what? The transport.
Yes.
The transport of the coal, of the goods.
Because maybe
Okay.
some principal cities were in the middle of England.
Okay, they were far from the sea.
And then the rivers could go deep in the country, and they could get
To the sea, they could bring everything to the. Okay, more cities.
And that
Yes,
cities could have a way to go to the sea.
very good. Yes, they needed to transport
All
the
by ships,
coal.
because maybe
You
they
said the
needed,
coal.
I don't know if there were trains.
Were there trains? What do you think?
No.
Before?
Afterwards,
After, yes.
And with carretas, I don't know how to say, they couldn't transport all the
It
raw
was-
materials.
it was
It
a
very
lot.
hard. So the navigable rivers were good.
Were useful. What did you want to say?
That England have a supply of iron
A
and
provision, a supply of iron and coal, that's what they were saying, and they had to transport this, didn't they? They had to transport it to other cities,
But there
to the harbors.
were some mines that were close to the sea. But if they weren't, they have the rivers
To transport the coal. And the iron as well for making the machines. Yes.
maybe from one city to another.
all the rivers of Great Britain were navigable
Yes.
during the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, and the boys were telling us that. Camila?
England don't have a raw material.
Well, some material they had.
Yes,
Not all,
not all. The colonies supplied the raw materials to the factories in London and to the other cities. For
And what did England give or sell to the colonies? Manufactured goods. Manufactured goods.
Cheaper raw materials.
Cheap, yes.
Cheaper.
Yes.
Because they did have some raw material, but it wasn't as
Or they
cheap
could
as
go and
that.
buy it. Yes. They want the point. They don't want to spend the money.
Tobacco and sugar.
From the colonies.
Yes.
From the colonies. Anything else? Which was very important for the textile industry. Wool. And the other is cotton. Cotton.
They didn't.
The mines are near the sea.
Some mines were near the sea. Others were inland. Remember there was a map?
Navigable rivers can go to the cities that
In the
have
mountains.
They could bring down in the mountains. Yeah, they could bring down the coals. Yes, girlies, you wanted to say something, and I didn't invite you. No?
In the factories too, they use
Children.
And they
But is that the cause or the consequence? Okay, so keep it there because now we're going to talk about that.
Britain had a lot of natural resources to be only a little island. So that was like a lot, because as it was a little island, it has a lot of natural natural resources on there, so it was cheaper.
It was, they had some natural resources, but they had a lot where? In the colonies.
And they had to have a good sea, I don't know.
They had good ships, didn't they? Because they were an island.
Marina.
The navy.
That's the word.
There are other things that you haven't mentioned. Okay, let's take one. One of the things that you have mentioned. Let's see. Choose one. One of the things that we have said.
Machines.
Okay. What? Come on. That?
That the machines
They revolutionized the era. Okay, what were the consequences of the inventions of the machines? The good things and the bad things.
That the machines, because after the Industrial Revolution, people make the things with their hands.
Before. Mhm.
And after, then the machines wait.
You want to help?
yes.
Do the work facility.
They facilitated. Okay.
They produce more.
Valentina.
They do the things in their house, and then they pass to the factory.
So first they made clothes, everything at home. Then what happened then? You said the machines were invented, and what was good of having the machines? Say, okay, now we have the machines, so what they said at the beginning. So now we can produce more quickly, more goods. So that is one of the good consequences, that they started making a lot of clothes, a lot of whatever. Webs. So in little time, people,
More money.
the owners of these factories made a lot of money. So that is good for them. But was that good for everybody?
Yes.
No, because some people that do the manual things they replace the.
They were replaced by machines. So did they have a job? No. So where did they have to go to get a job? So they had no land, no farming, nothing. They had to go. Where did they live, these people? Where did they live? They used to live on the farm, and then they went to cities. Okay, think of the consequences, the good and the bad of this population change.
But they were too bad, because the factory were too much big that they were like all together, so you have some problems.
People were crammed, or they were overcrowded, full of people. So what were the problems?
The air was not fresh.
Okay, they didn't breathe properly. Yes,
There was more noise.
a lot of noise. Yes, the machines made a lot of noise, so people would go deaf.
Yes, but
Noise and pollute the air.
The machines produced smoke.
Yes.
The smoke went.
Pollute the air.
Yeah, and the cities were all contaminated. Very bad. Yes, girlies, we go back
A
here.
lot of people, when they invent the machines, don't have work because the machines produce a lot, and they don't. Not is necessary a lot of people.
For instance, at home they would make cloth. If the machines make cloth in the factories, the people at home are not making cloth any longer. Nobody will buy it because they will have to sell it very expensive price, and the factory is selling at very cheap price. Okay, so these people, and it is.
It's better from factories
It's better from factories because
they is the same product. Same product.
yes, no faults, no mistakes.
Yes, because by hand you can do something wrong, but with the machines you do A lot, but the same.
Very good. They were all the same. Yes.
In the beginning, they sell to the countries that are near they, but then they have a lot of things, and so they had to sell to the countries of China.
So they had an overplus. They had so many products that they needed more markets. And America was a very good market, wasn't it?
First, they sent it to their colonies.
Yes, that's what they did. And they got raw material for their new products, and
then
they sent the manufactured goods.
They also made children work in factories. Because as they were little, they can go between machines and get the things that were on the floor.
Or repair them.
And was that good?
And fix the machines.
And was that good for children? That kind of life?
No, because they were very little to work in a machine and to work.
You wanted to say something?
No, that many people, many children dead.
They died because the long hours.
They cannot read.
The noise, children get in the machine repair.
They repaired the machines, yes, but many died. Why?
Because they're slow.
Yes, and what happened there in the machines or repairing the machines?
There was a lot of smoke.
Maybe they got stuck in the...
They got stuck in the machines. Yes, there. And now, yes.
They have the machine have all the smoke and the children's
Yes, breathe.
yes.
The
noise
and the,
And
they were
they got hurt.
they got hurt.
They cannot see of the, what is the word in English for polvo?
The dust. It was
They cannot
dust
see because
of
they
the
want
dust,
of the cover.
so they could have accidents.
Yes.
And besides, in the past, when they lived on the farms, they worked in the open air. It was natural life. Now
but then
it was better.
have a lot of noises
And dust,
It
and
was pretty quiet.
it was quiet, it was nice, but then they got ill because it wasn't the best place to be. Did they play? Did they have time to play?
No. They work like 8
They
or
work all the
10
day.
hours. All the day in the machine.
14, 16 hours. Yes.
They were most of the time in the factory than in their house.
More time in the factories than at home. So they didn't have a good life. They
But
didn't
maybe
eat.
they didn't have a home.
Some people didn't have a home.
Yes.
So
So
we spent all the day in the factories working.
tell me about houses, say the consequences of having all these people living in the cities.
6 people in the factory are some rooms. And there the people sleep.
They would probably sleep in the factories or in maybe 6 people in one room.
Maybe a lot of families in one house.
Okay.
And not in a big house. In a big
So,
one with
what about the sanitation codes? The consequences as far as the city and the living in those conditions.
a lot of families
Shared?
share
And where did they throw the sewage?
in
In the street. That was
It
terrible.
was like a whole street and all.
A gutter.
Yes.
A gutter.
And they lived one house there and other there.
They were, so there was very little
And they
room.
have only one bathroom.
Sometimes they had one for all the house.
One bathroom to only one street.
Okay, only one for the whole neighborhood. So that brought a lot of diseases. Children were ill because of all this problem. Okay, let's stop.